Hi guys, welcome to Learn Tech from Zero. Today we have a very exciting announcement for you. We have created a new section, CCNA Labs 0 to CCNA. So with this, you should be able to learn CCNA very quickly. Before I get into this, we already have a separate section, networking Cisco CCNA. And in this section, you should be able to go through all the theories and notes and quiz like questions and practice your knowledge based on the theory. Everything is in this section, so it's all free. You can go to Learn Tech from Zero and you can access them, study them, and get all the theoretical knowledge. But for practical knowledge, we have created another separate section where we will be creating a network, and this network will represent a real life enterprise network like this, and we will cover everything from CCNA. So all the exam objectives will be showed to you in a practical way, where we will add devices, we will give them connection with different cables. We will have initially we will have a collapsed core network design, but later on we will change it to three tier. So I will explain you everything from scratch to CCNA level, where you will see all the exam topics covered in a practical way. So let's just dive into the new project. So you can just go into the website and read them, like what you will be learning, how we are building them, and etc. And you just click on Start Lab to practice the lab. Right now, I have only like one or two labs, but we will be uploading new labs every other day. So if you're new to this channel and if you're interested and if you want to learn in a CCNA the fastest way possible, and to learn in a proper way where everything makes sense, you are not just memorizing. You will be learning all the concepts. We will configure them, we will apply them, like we will have the IP addresses, we will apply um, IP addresses to port. We will basically create VLANs. We will have a router on a stick, inter VLAN communication, or we will just add another switch, or we will make this switch as the inter VLAN routing, where all the so it becomes a full three tier. So there is so much to it. So if you're new to this, you don't have to worry too much. We will cover everything from scratch. So let's get into step one. So step one, today is step one. So today we will not be doing any practical work. We will start practical work with step two. So today I will explain it to you, what we will be building over time and what we are covering, etc. So what we are building, we will be building an enterprise style network. So this is not just any design. It will be this design is from another example, so don't worry, we will create everything from scratch. But this is how a network engineer, they normally start designing a network with foundation. They need to basically have IP addresses ready. They need to know how many VLANs they will have, segmentation. They will need to know what are the IP address range that they will be using, and how many devices should be in the network. This is some networking is basically designing from everything from scratch to covering higher level security sections as well. So CCNA gives you a really good understanding of foundational network, where you start the network and you build the network. If you are fully into networking and you want to learn networking, Network Plus is not the ideal choice. CompTIA Network Plus is not the ideal choice. CompTIA Network Plus is a ideal choice if you just want to have a basic or good understanding of basic networking. But CCNA is really good and it's really important. It literally opens the pathway for networking role, like full on networking role, where you can be working as a junior network engineer. You'll be working as an assistant network engineer, or you can literally start getting into IT with CCNA. And then if you are into networking and if you are into CCNA and you want to progress further into networking, you want to become a network engineer, you want to design a you would actually want to be the main person designing a whole network and everything, making the decisions, then the next obvious option would be CCNP for the enterprise. So CCNA is actually very very useful. Is one of the top tier certificate out there. And why it's different than Network Plus is because on CCNA you have to configure everything. You have to make sure switch communicates to the router. The computers can ping the server. The computers, the laptops can ping another laptop in a different city, and then creating server, accessing network devices remotely with SSH. So everything, you're not just learning, you will be configuring them. That's what makes CCNA a top tier certificate. And obviously some of the technologies they teach in CCNA is slightly old, because this one is we can see that I have connected two routers using a serial cable, but modern WAN connection doesn't use serial cable. This is something that we used to use before. But you need to know this for CCNA. You need to know how things started before you just start from somewhere middle. Like, if you don't know the foundation, why things have became like that, why we have MPLS for WAN, why not serial? So CCNA, it teaches you a bit of modern networking, but it also covers a strong foundation of networking as well. So this is what we will be doing. We'll be building a enterprise level network, which is basically a real life example. This is not going to be 100% accurate for a real enterprise network design, because you need to know further. You need to also know CCNP and beyond, and other security things. So this is not enough, but CCNA, you get the foundation. You know where to start, and you can build a small enterprise level network, or small office, home office network, so you know how things get started in networking. All right. So we will be creating an head office, and then head office will be providing and basically controlling everything, and then we will have a branch office, and then we will initially basically we will be creating a three-tier network design, networking architecture. We will have a separate device for access. We will have a separate device for this device. We mean switches. So switch 2, sorry, layer 2 switch for access, layer 3 switch for distribution, layer 3 switch for core. But we there is also another term which is collapsed core, where you don't use too many devices. You can literally use just one device to do the distribution and core. So this is called collapsed core. So in right now, I can just quickly give you an example. You don't need to worry if you don't understand. So right now, this router is working as a router on a stick. So this one is providing the communication between different VLANs. So everything goes through this router. So this is why it's collapsed. But if I make this switch, if it's right now this is a layer 2 switch, but if I make it a layer, if I change it to a layer 3 switch, and if I do SVIs, um, switch virtual interface, then those VLANs can communicate with each other through the switch, layer 3 switch, not the router. Then it becomes a 3 tier network. So you will, everything will start making sense to you. This is why practical is very important. No matter how much you study CCNA on a theoretical basis, you can never be an expert. But once you start practicing lab, and if I show you how real networks are designed from the foundation aspect, you will learn so much. You will have so much confidence. Everything will start making sense. Everything will change overnight. Okay, so we will have routers, switches, and devices like computers, laptops, and then the network, we will, it will grow over time. So we will start with adding devices, and then later on we will make connection, and then we will advance into further or high level technologies or protocols. Okay, and then on step 2 we will start designing everything in the lab like this. So we have to wait for step 2. It will be coming out very soon, within a day or two. So initially we will have 3 routers, because you need to cover all these exam objectives from CCNA. You need to have at least 2 to 3 routers. So we will cover all these technologies or the topics on these routers, like routing, default routing, inter VLAN, router on a stick. So right now this one is working as a router on a stick. So this one, router on a stick means inter VLAN routing means when separate VLANs, they have to communicate, because VLANs, they use IP addresses, and switches can't forward IP addresses. So in that sense, you need a layer 3 switch or a router for the VLANs to communicate. Don't worry, I will explain everything from scratch. We will have 3 switches, layer 2, layer 3 switches. It will cover all the switching exam objectives: VLAN trunking, inter VLAN routing, ether channel, STP, spanning tree protocol, to basically prevent loops where the things is not just roaming around the network, where it needs to know when it gets dropped, or how the connection should be established, what connection should be disabled, what connection should stay in a state where it's not working but it's listening. There's a lot of things. So we will have 3 routers, 3 switches, 1 wireless router for wireless devices. We will have a server for accessing information. We will have cloud, 6 computers, like 6 laptops, etc. So that's it. If you are interested, and if you want to learn CCNA free, you don't even have to spend thousands. Like, for example, CCNA, it's not a practical exam, so you have to do they might ask you, most of them are just like multiple choice and scenario based questions, and you might have to do 1 or 2 labs. So why waste thousands and thousands of, I don't know, whichever currency on CCNA, where you will not be doing any practical work? So with Packet Tracer, this software, it's a free software, and you can design and learn. You don't spend so much money. Yes, some people need a bit of extra help, proper mentor. But if you're smart, if you speak good English, then you should be able to pick up. If you speak decent English, you should be able to pick up anything. You can also leave a comment if you don't understand, and I will be happy to explain it to you completely for free. Just to let you know, this CCNA, we might start charging, because there will be a lot of effort and time spent on this, so that you learn CCNA in the quickest way possible. So this is completely free for now. So whoever registers within this month, January, they can have access to this course forever. So with your email address, in the future, In the future, even if we start pricing, it will be a very little amount just to cover the expenses, to cover our server expenses. But if you don't want to spend anything, if you just register, then you can use those email addresses to access this course completely for free forever. So if you want to save money, if you're really interested, and if you want to get into networking, or if you want to learn networking, make sure that you give me a follow, leave a comment, and for the best part, make sure that you subscribe on our website so that you can have this for free forever. Thank you so much for your time. I will see you next with the next video.